I saw Arden Forest was in there. That's a great one for Rise Nation. Mindfreak are 4-3 on it. Rise are 7-1. So game 5, if we get there, keep an eye on that. Mindfreak, their CTF has just been abysmal, really, since the start of Anaheim. They're 3-13 now in that game mode. On the one we'll be seeing here, it was Forest, I believe, was the CTF. They're 1-5 on that map and mode. So it's just something that, you know, they need to improve upon. They're pretty well rounded in those other game modes. It's just CTF has been letting them down.
And then I think their one win came on like Tuesday. I think it was the first match that they played. Again, I have that Shocks 3Ps burned into my memory. I think it was against LG. So correct me if I'm wrong. But either way, the same Hardpoint is going to be the first map. So we got a long way to go before we get to that CTF. And, well, none other than TJ Haley, TJ Halley, however you say it. It's going to be TJ inside the hill, able to find a kill, able to put Rise onto board, trying to extend this lead.
All right, Mindfreak pushed back for the time being, looking to set up and break into the hardpoint. You see Rise Nation's current setup. TJ was inside the hardpoint. It's going to be Gunless here above him, trying to follow up and maintain this position. Of course, we know how impactful an assault rifle player could be over in top red for this very first hardpoint. Feeling some pressure from Shocks, and he's thinking that somebody's going to come around from the side, as Shocks is just playing his life for the time being. But Gunless holds strong, and now kills starting to come in favor of Rise Nation. 3 fall on the side of Mindfreak. It's all up to Fida inside the hardpoint. Gunless will clean up that kill, gets the capture points, and now into 3 spree. He's pretty close to that glide bump, but he falls as soon as I pointed out.
Yeah, he is going to fall. Mindfreak is going to be able to take that lead, but they're going to have to fight through and go for spawns. And you see the setup that Rise Nation has. They got a player watching the left, a player watching the right, and while someone's got to get the time, it's going to be Gunless. And, well, the first man falls. He does get a solid spawn, but Mindfreak, they got a little bit of pressure mid-map. They got a little pressure coming to the left side, and, well, here's the opportunity. It's going to be a wave of gunfights coming in at the exact same time, but you got to win all the 1v1s, and it looks like so far it's going to be Rise, but the bounce back is there. It's going to be Slasher up to him to kind of make the big kill, and, well, he gives it an attempt, but now Looney, he's got to go for that trade.
Inside the shed, Fida, for the time being, staying alive, and he's super close to streaks as well, just 25 points away, but no, the grenade comes in from Gunless, shuts him down, and all things considered, is a good push through the front for Mindfreak. Now you have Buzzo trying to wrap around the back, secure the spawns for his team, but he's going to get shot in the side. Easy kill there for Gunless with the machine pistol out. So this remaining time should go in favor of Rise Nation. Mindfreak should cut their losses here, rotate on over towards the upcoming hardpoint over at the parking lot, make sure they have spawns in their favor when that hardpoint pops up, and they can find themselves right back in this game.
And so far, so good. I think on the setup that Mindfreak is working with as well. They've got quite a bit of map control. They got a player top right. He's able to take down Looney, and that means Fight, his job is going to be very, very easy. Denz is going to be able to find a second as well, and well, for the moment, doing it all. He's kind of holding Rise back pretty much solo for the moment. So this is 10 free seconds going the way of Mindfreak. They're going to be posed to get another 10 or 15.
He's got to reload, man.
Well, Rise is playing this slow as well.
Thank you for reloading. Only 6 bullets left in his clip. On a 4 spree as well. That's your teammate. Don't shoot him. Finds another one, but he gets shut down on that 5 spree. So we've seen on both teams now, players getting super close to getting streaked out, but no one able to convert just yet. Now inside the hardpoint, that's a big win for Buzzo, but now he's left all alone. As his teammates all fall around him, he's forced to reload. Spawns flipped in favor of Rise Nation. They take control of the hardpoint, but there's only 20 seconds remaining. Once again, Mindfreak in a situation where they should just cut their losses, rotate over towards the next upcoming hardpoint, and Fighters already pushed out, extended on through.
Overall, though, the story of the parking lot hill is Rise was very, very slow to even attempt their first break, but they did it perfectly, the only attempt that they gave. So basically a trade, a 50-50 split on the hill. And of course, I would say Mindfreak has won the rotation battle, but there's only one player inside the hill. He gets taken down, and this is Rise going perfect from parking lot to lookout post. And while someone with an AR has got to do some damage, Denz is looking to be that guy, but you got to take him outside the hill. Looney is able to fall. And, well, it's back to that 50-50 battle.
All right, for the time being, Rise Nation with the lead in this game, but it was Mindfreak with control of the hardpoint, and now they're getting the kills to back up their side. 3 fall for Rise Nation. It's going to be Looney here, trying to maintain this forward position. You see his teammates spawn up right behind him. So the reinforcements are rather quick here for Rise Nation, and now they're just looking to set up the break. Fighting from their side of the map. Looney now going to push on into the hardpoint, but still kills. All 3 of them going towards Mindfreak. Make it all 4. It's a clean wipe of the map for Rise Nation. Going to be Mindfreak now taking the lead, and Rise Nation looking to gain some early positioning as we start a fresh rotation of hardpoints.
It really does seem like Rise Nation is really trying to take their time with so many of these breaks, like waiting for all 4 players to stack up, and generally speaking, that's definitely a good approach to have, but it's a little bit different. The slower pace, maybe that's something that could potentially benefit one team over the other, because, well, you see the score, not too much of a difference between the 2 teams. Mindfreak after the first set of rotations, like an 11-point lead, but a lead nonetheless.
Yeah, especially for Mindfreak, like, it's something to work with. Now they've got to maintain this pace, right? We see this time and time again from teams when they match up against a stronger opponent where they're able to hang through the first rotation of hard points, but then they fall a bit behind. They're unable to maintain that level of play throughout the entire map. So let's see if Mindfreak can continue to play at this pace. Right now they're finding success, but it's Rise Nation able to retake the lead, but still a very tight margin between both these teams, as now TJ starting to get involved inside the hardpoint. He's on 4 spree, only 250 points now away from that glide bomb.
Yeah, TJ might just be the difference maker for his team. He's on a 4 streak, which means he was 5-14. Things weren't looking great, but even after that, you're only down by 10. He picks things up just a little bit, and they might just be able to take over that lead. Ooh. At the moment, though, you have players all over the map as TJ falls off the streak, because you got a player from Mindfreak looking for Slasher. That's going to be Shox. Cleans him up, but Shox has important gunfights later on. TJ's going around the back. He's searching for the kill, and that just might be the 1v1 that could potentially win you this Winerly Lot Hill.
Yeah, and as Looney got the information that there were 2 players over towards bottom red, they know that Shox is the only person with positioning for Mindfreak over in this new hardpoint. Rise Nation then single him out. They take him out of the action, and now they know all the pressure is going to be coming from the front over towards the field side of the map. Concussion's being tossed out to try to slow them down. Slasher gets caught out in the corner by Dens. It's going to be now Gunless fighting from L. Pre-firing around the corner, but Mindfreak, they've done a good job both times around in this hardpoint of being able to fight to the front and at least contest for time. Now they have control, but Dens 25 points away from the glide bomb. You have to convert on these streaks. You have to earn them right here.
Well, he's able to get the first plus 100, but you see the nades coming in. The player's going over top for the challenge, but he has help. He has help. He's able to get 1 assist, and it looks like the kills get cleaned up, and that's, well, pretty successful overall for Mindfreak. They're not quite going to have the lead, but they're close to getting those fully streaks out, but still, the pressure's on. He uses the glide bomb. He finds TJ. That's going to help his team. You see 3 members able to get that full rotation. Now they're trying to get those cutoff kills, but these are moments that can win or lose you games. Dens, he's got to get those streaks. You got to keep that in the back of your mind, but his team, they might be able to do it without him. They're getting kills all over the place. They win the rotation, and now, well, you see the artillery. It's coming in.
And it's a combined 14, now 15 spree between the members of Mindfreak before Slasher picks up that kill into Dens right here. Now Buzzle with an opportunity to get some streaks of his own. The artillery barrage, they waste no time calling that in, as Dens, I'm not sure if he's able to earn the fighter pilot. Yes, he was, so he's going to have that tier 3 score streak to work with for future hardpoints as Mindfreak, they're bringing the game back in their favor, up by 14 points and growing. But Rise Nation not giving up without a fight. And take a look at the slaying that Rise Nation are bringing to the table here. TJ, Hallie, and Looney are combined for now 19 and 35. That is not good, especially considering the fact that when either of these players go positive, the win rate for Rise Nation and Respawn shoots up over 80%.
Even still, though, I mean, that's 2 pretty impactful streaks burned. And, well, I mean, at the end of it, what? It's going to be a 9-point game, maybe even a little bit less, of course. The fighter pilot, the most devastating of all, especially on this hill. Still in the back pocket of Dens, so we might be able to do some damage. But for the moment, they might be able to just do it with their guns. There's a gunfight going on inside the hill while Sox is trying to watch the back. He eventually gets completely pushed out. Buzzo gets traded as well. And, well, Dens is the last one up. He might want to use the fighter pilot, but you can't from inside the hill. You're just going to die. There he gets taken down, and that's a pretty clean break from Rise Nation. The question is, I think the fighter pilot might be coming out, or maybe Dens doesn't want to use it. But you got to keep it in mind.
That would be the time to do it. Fortunately, they're able to shut down TJ before he earns streaks. Now with 30 seconds remaining, here's the fighter pilot. Finds 1, finds 2, looking for the third on the Gunless. Does connect, but keep an eye on the spawns as well for Rise Nation. They spawn up over towards the back stables, which is pretty much right next to the hard point. Even though the fighter pilot clears them away, Rise Nation walk back in, they find the kills, and now they're getting the rest of the scrap time.
And the fighter pilot just got used too late, right? Like 2 of his teammates died right before he calls it in. And yeah, I mean, the spawns get called out perfectly. You kill 3 with it and get literally nothing off of it. The most impactful streak in the game to pretty much no avail, and all the utility comes down, and at the end of it, you're down by 13 points. Still a close game. Still could go either way. Buzz was trying to make big plays inside the hard point, but you're going to have someone step it up once again for Mindfreak.
Oh, man, there have been so many opportunities for Mindfreak to get multiple players fully streaked out. It's only Dens, the one able to convert. You just saw Buzzo had a chance there as well inside the hard point. Meanwhile, we're watching Shox. Bit of a quiet game from him at 12 and 15, but he's got a lot of time inside the hard point, and he could make a big play happen here as he's holding top red. Coming down the staircase, we'll spot TJ. Wins the first engagement. Nate to follow up, trying to buy some space. Also waiting for his teammates to come on in to give him some help. Now around the corner, Rise Nation still picking up some kills. Shox here, looking to contest for the time being. Takes down Looney, takes down Slasher. Third player right around the corner, swaps to the machine pistol, challenges Gunless, but can't finish the kill. Time still going in favor of Rise Nation as they're starting to build a bit of a lead. But take a look at the rotation towards the upcoming hard point. TJ already here with some forward positioning.
But his teammates are falling in the kill feed, which means they're going to be on the opposite side of the map. He's trying to get a good spot, but he doesn't get them the spawns. But Mindfreak, they're unaware. I don't know if they have any idea. You see fight inside the hill. He is searching for it. I think he goes to check the back. I think they have some inkling that TJ might be back here. They're trying to keep track, and if they didn't know before, they definitely know now. But as they find out, as they learn, they're all gonna die. Rise Nation 30 points away from closing this game out. Mindfreak, they gotta be perfect.
Great patient play from TJ Halley out there. He was looking for the impactful kill, and it came onto Dens, the anchor here for Mindfreak, who's holding down the spawns. As TJ picked up the kill, the Rise Nation members then pinched on him through the front. They chained kills together and cleared Mindfreak out of the hardpoint. And now 15 more seconds for Rise Nation to close out this map 1. You see Mindfreak, they've done a great job all map long of fighting through the front here, but now they're just funneled through these small choke points. Shox is able to pick up 2. Here comes CJ around the corner. There's the trade, and that might be the game.
Rise Nation, the final ticks are gonna come in. They're gonna be able to get that victory. And that's a game where, well, the best team in the world, they get outslayed, but they find a way to win. There was a lot of good moments in that game where you thought Mindfreak, well, they might have some pretty good opportunities to get some score streaks, rack up a bit of time. But Rise Nation, time and time again, well, they found a way to kind of make up for the loss of kills.
Yeah, exactly that. It was getting a little bit scary there for Rise Nation, just like you pointed out. Had those Mindfreak players converted on their opportunities to get fully streaked out, I feel like we would have seen a completely different game, but we also have to go back to the fact that Dens did get fully streaked out, and the way he decides to use those streaks. So he uses the glide bomb in rotation over towards the parking lot, does buy some time and release some pressure on the rotation for his teammates. Then he immediately calls in the artillery barrage after that, and then we saw the fighter pilot get used on the upcoming lookout tower hardpoint. Didn't really get much done. You find 3 kills, but you don't get any time in the hard point after that. So maybe some questionable use of streaks there.
And even the first 2, like, they were good, but could have, like, he put himself in a team in a position to get just so much time on the hill. Like, the glide bomb wins them the 2 to 3 rotation. They convert that set of kills. The artillery is going to slow them down to rotate to even attempt the break. But we saw the first set of rotations. Rise Nation took 1 crack at breaking that 3rd hill, and they were successful. They only had 1 crack to break it the second time around because of what the artillery did to them, because the glide bomb made it tougher to get in. But they still were successful, and the only attempt they had at breaking, they got through. So instead of getting like the near full 60 from Mindfreak, they used 2 streaks and really only get 30 seconds. Like, it was a good usage of those streaks, but still, they didn't quite convert as well as they could have. And then, of course, the fighter pilot is the shining example of that, where they, kill 3 and don't get anything.
Yeah, exactly that. I know Jess had a chance to catch up with Looney from Rise Nation before the series started. What did Looney have to say for us, Jess?
Thanks, Revan. Well, Looney said that losing those past 2 matches here back-to-back was pretty unfortunate, but they spent a lot of time going over their mistakes, going over what went wrong, and he's pretty confident they're not going to be making the same mistakes. He's not worried really about repeating those. And he says they're trying to use this series versus Mindfreak as a way to kind of bounce back and start playing, like they did at CWL Anaheim again, really, and just kind of looking to recover from those last 2 losses and put them behind them. So we'll see how it goes. Revan, Chance, back over to you.
Looney trying to say that they want to play more like they did when they were, well, winning tournaments, and I think we saw an inkling of that in game number 1. Again, super controlled breaks on many hills, not just the 3rd one, but even a parking lot. We saw Looney right next to the hill, a couple seconds away, stunned out, waiting 10, 15 seconds for every single member of his team to get there. They're playing a more controlled style, playing a little bit safer, avoiding any recklessness, and then we saw, like, TJ at the end. Someone needs to make the big play. Someone needs to be the smart guy, gets behind enemy lines, and doesn't take a gunfight right until that hill pops. So they're making the smart plays. Like Rise Nation, they get outslayed and they still win. That's something you love to see from a championship caliber team.
And I know those couple of losses must have been a little rough for them, but coming to this series, it's important not to overlook or underestimate this Mindfreak squad. They've caused upsets before, and they're capable of doing it here. Coming up next, we're going to be moving over to London Docks for some search and destroy action. And this is a great map, actually, for both teams. Mindfreak, they're 5-2 on this map and mode, but Rise Nation are undefeated at 6-0, plus with an overall record of 18-5 is actually fairly comparable to the overall record of 15-8 for Mindfreak. So both these teams should match up pretty well when it comes down to search and destroy. We'll see how it plays out as we're about to enter the map, but I had a chance to speak to TJ a little bit before the game. I was asking him, just give me a quick 3-0. He said he got me, bro, so I'm going to favor Rise Nation coming into this one.
That's all it takes. I got you, bro. And Revan's like, I'm convinced.
I'm convinced.
This is exactly what happened on the E-Girl Slayers. Someone just said, I got you, bro. And we were like, hey, let's go get a top 5 placing. Did you get top 5? Is that what it was?
Hell yeah, we got top 5. Solid squad. Wish we could bring it back. Maybe one time for like a throwback tournament. We got to get the squad reunited. But anyways, back into the series here. Rise Nation. It was a strong hard point. Map 1 for them. Some maybe situations where things were looking a little bit uneasy on their side, but like you're saying, they were really focusing on playing together as a team, playing way more coordinated, slowing things down on the break, playing their lives a little bit more. But here you go. It's actually a Valkyrie search and destroy. So all those stats I gave you.
Ignore every last one of them. they were all, well, they're all right, just completely irrelevant. First blood, though, gonna go the way of Shocks, and, well, we'll see Rise Nation if they're trying to work on their situational play. Well, here's a situation for you. What do you do on defense when you don't have the man advantage? Well, you got to find the player with the bomb. You got to take him down or find a pick anywhere on the map you can. Obviously, Gunless is able to spot Den's out, but frankly, it's just more of Den's keeping Gunless at bay. Yeah,
Gunless could have maybe tried to throw the grenade for the trade there, but decided to save his utility for later in the round. There's going to be the pick here. A little bit scary, but the trade also comes in from Shock, so the man advantage still in favor of Mindfreak. There's Looney over towards Smokestacks for the trade, but Buzz was there with the immediate response, and he gets the two-piece after. I gotta watch that shot one more time in the Bronze Star kill cam, because that was nasty from Buzzo.
That's about to be some clean work from Buzzo. Good movement as well. I mean, it's not overly impressive, just slides on over, but makes it look efficient. I don't even think the man missed a bullet.
It's something that he has to be thinking of before that play even happens, right? As he kind of leaves his cover in position to challenge that player over towards Smokestacks, leaves the angle open for the player inside ventilation room. So as soon as he starts taking fire, you see the immediate movement behind the box. Good play from Buzzo.
And very good round for Mindfreak as well. They got the first blood, and every single kill after that, they just made sure to trade out. And then Buzzo, well, he trades his own life, picking up the two-piece. Den's, by the way, pulling out the sniper. We saw him do quite a bit of this yesterday. I think it was against LG, and he was pretty solid with it. We'll see if he can make some magic happen, but might not need to. His teammate's able to get the next first blood fight. It does get traded out, and, well, this means now the A-bomb site completely open.
And that's the big thing for Rise Nation. Even though you're not fighting these first bloods, the quick trade after, just to even up the man count early in the round. Looney with the bomb, just scoping out these angles, and now he's going to commit for the plant. Some action going down over towards Smokestacks as Gunless was exchanging some fire with Buzzo, as now the objective gets planted. It's going to be Mindfreak trying to play for the retake.
Well, they're going to have to be able to come out with it. Buzzo, though, he's just going to get picked off by Looney. And, well, Looney's just going to go for the shoulder peek, maybe. But Shocks, that's all the time that he needs to rip some heads. Still, though, that time is ticking down. Den still has that sniper, and he doesn't have a teammate for support either, because Slasher's going to find that kill. It'd be a prayer, a miracle for Den to be able to get this. Expect Slasher to peek from the window, which he very well might, and he does. But Denz gave it up, so Denz is going to fall.
Yeah, anytime that bomb gets planted over towards the A site and you're the team trying to retake the bomb site, you have to clear out the storage bunker. Time and time again, you see teams plant for that positioning here in the window as a post-plant round win condition. Slasher makes it work there, but also the odds were stacked against Denz. In a 1v2, he only had the sniper to work with. So Rise Nation, they respond with an offensive round win of their own, moving into round number 3. Curious to see if Denz is going to stick with the sniper rifle, if he's going to swap to a different primary weapon. Swapping through these guys, yeah, he's going to swap over to the PPSH, trying to bring a bit more aggression, as it looks like Mindfreak might be shaping up to hit this B-bomb site.
Same setup I think we saw quite a few times against LG. They show heavy presence over B, presence over at B. They look for that first pick, and then they wrap the bomb back towards A. The only problem is if you're getting picked off with nades and getting annihilated by TJ, well, there's not really any time to wrap. Now it's Mindfreak for the pretty instant 2v4. Denz might be able to make a play, but Looney might just be sniffing this one out.
One is great coordination to get that first blood on the fighter. They had him stunned up, then the double nade comes in to clear him out. Then the jump shot from TJ to clear out Buzzo leads to Rise Nation now having a 2-man advantage, 4v2, with 45 seconds remaining on the clock. Fortunately for Mindfreak, at least, you know, the bomb is in the hands of Shocks, who's still alive, so they have some mobility around the map. It's not like they're forced into one position here. And with Denz having, you know, at least a corner held inside A, I think Shocks is going to look to rotate on in, especially now that Denz finds that kill on the Looney.
Still, though, even with the pick, it's still a very tough situation for Mindfreak to be in. Shocks is going to try to go for the cross Slasher. Well, he's going to catch him out, but he's going to eat a nade, and all of a sudden that 2v2 is a 2v4 becomes a 2v2. Gunless knows where Denz is. Denz goes for the challenge. He's going to fall, but either way, Shocks does get the bomb down. He has to go for the plant. And this is a doable situation. Has an inkling of where Gunless is, and he's actually going to basically walk into the pre-aim, but you're going to need the kill because you just know that TJ is going to be coming from the back. Shocks expecting the trade. He's going to hear it. TJ may be a little bit too trigger happy, but he finishes the kill with ease. And that's well, not a clean round for Rise Nation, but they might take it.
Yeah, a bit scary there for Rise. I mean, you give Shocks a chance to fight 2 different 1v1s. And as he tagged up Gunless initially, I thought he was just going to commit to that fight. Gunless using the cover inside the operations bunker, but those walls are kind of like paper thin. You could shoot through just about anything over towards that side of the map. And it was good anticipation as well by Shocks. He didn't take too much damage from Gunless, expecting the quick flank out of TJ. But unfortunately, the machine pistol just not enough to clean up that kill. So Rise Nation to hold on to that round. And it was a great start for them, if you remember. Isolating Fighter for the first blood. Crisp shots from TJ Halley to take down Buzzo. As now Rise Nation take the lead, but still so early on. And now it's Rise Nation's turn to attack over towards B. They find first blood as well.
Buzzo was able to trade out one, but Buzzo was going to have to deal with 3 more. Mindfreak teammates might need a wrap back to help him out. Fida is going to be watching the cross, and they get a little bit of damage on a TJ. Slasher comes around. He's going to fall. Buzzo's got 2 just for the round, and they know he's there, but how do you get past the man with an STG? He's just an anchor, and the teammate support, they wrap around. So Rise Nation says, well, we can't force this in. We can't deal with it. We didn't get the picks we need. We got to go for the plan on that.
And take a look at where they're planning once again. For that storage bunker window, now TJ, I believe he only has an SMG to use. Don't think he has an assault rifle in the back pocket, so it's going to be a bit of a long-range battle for him. But he's also working towards some streaks, so he wants to stay alive at the very least. Anyways, Mindfreak now working on the retake. 30 seconds remaining. TJ will spot Buzzo, but he gets taken down. Looney's going to look to retake this position, or at least maybe get the trade kill on the Buzzo, pick up his assault rifle, and try to take out the bomb diffuser. Dens has just started defusing, so Looney's on a timer here, and he's running out of time. He's got to go check the bomb. It's going to get defused. Looney a little bit too late to watch that cross as Mindfreak tie the game up once again.
And very patient stuff coming out from Mindfreak as well. Even in the 3v2, even when the bomb gets planted, I mean, Buzzo, it took him 15 seconds to walk like from behind the bomb to move up 20 feet. And at some point, TJ was just like, well, they haven't pushed in this room yet. Maybe I have the clearance to go and make a flank, and then Buzzo was just waiting that entire time. So incredibly patient stuff coming out from Mindfreak. And of course, why not play patient when you have the man advantage? As long as you don't waste too much time.
That's exactly what you want to do. You have the man advantage. Use those numbers to the best of your ability. Buzzo now on a 3-kill spree for his team. As we find ourselves here in round number 5. It's going to be Shocks inside the storage bunker window. Scoping out that side alley. Maybe spotted TJ over towards the mid-ventilation room. Speaking of TJ, perfect time to dive across. Fida takes some fire from his own teammate, but still able to find the first blood inside vents onto TJ. So man advantage early on goes to Mindfreak once again. 50 seconds now remaining in this round. There's Gunless, the quick trade onto Dens. Shocks looking for an angle to bring the man advantage back in favor of Mindfreak, not finding it for the time being, as now they're starting to spread the map and venture on forward.
Buzzo just trying to figure out if he can even cross over. They still know Gunless is waiting in the wings. And there it is, Gunless looking for the kill. He has the nade to get the backup. I'm assuming that's going to connect and Buzzo's fall. But the flank has come in. Looney lets them sneak through away, but still, the pinch is basically, well, not the pinch, but the 2 players working in tandem for Rise Nation, both on school side of things. Time ticking down. Someone's got to get the bomb. Looney's going to know he has it, knows exactly where he is. Trades come in, though. Mindfreak, they got the advantage. They got to deal with Slasher. Slasher in a pretty solid spot, but actually the bomb getting planted from where he can't see it. He's got to go for the wrap. I'm assuming they can hear him. If not, the kill should get traded. You got to fly out. Slasher, well, he makes the right read, but it's a tough gunfight to win. And Mindfreak, again, another round where things get a little bit scary, but they clutch up.
And I was thinking Slasher just needed that 1 kill on the bomb planter, and he would have walked away with the round win for Rise Nation, but not the case. The quick trade for Shocks, really the only play he had to make. As Mindfreak, they're now going to take the lead here on Valkyrie Search and Destroy. And I'm not sure if I brought out the map counts for this map. I know I did for London Docks, but both teams are 4-1 on Valkyrie Search and Destroy. So well-versed here. Important to note that Dens hasn't brought out the snipers since that 1 round we saw him do it in. He's actually going to bring it out here, so switching up the pace here on defense might be met with some aggression, but no, it's going to be Rise Nation immediately pushing it over towards that A bomb site. Fighting's taking some early shots. He's also on a 4 spree, by the way, so he's got progression towards that glide bomb. Meanwhile, it's still Rise Nation stacked up over towards A. Mindfreak with a bit of a contain here. They have most of the entrances covered, but coming up the office side alley is going to be TJ maybe finding an opening as the bomb gets planted. It's going to be a 4-on-4 retake.
And the retake is not off to a good start. Gunless finds that first pick. The trade does not come in. Mindfreak seems very happy to give this up. Dens is the reason why, apparently, if he's hitting shots like that. He knows TJ's coming around the back. He's going to get to the barrels. The trade comes in, though. Looney making sure to strafe jump all the way around. Now it's up to Buzzo and Fida. They got to get the bomb. They don't have a lot of time. Rise Nation, though, they're going to get peppered. 2 are just going to fall all of a sudden. Slasher for the 1v2. Slasher for the 1v1. Fida, do you want the streaks or do you want the round? You got to find the kill on Slasher, who's just playing the clock. He trusted that Fida didn't hop right on the bomb, but this might be good for Fida if he wins the gunfight. No, he should have heard him coming. That's the streaks get shut down. That's a, well, I would say a 1v2 from Slasher. That's more of a 3v2 for Rise that they ended up clutching up in the end, but that was a pretty important round.
Too close for comfort, man. It's a 3-on-2 situation, just like you were saying, with around 20 seconds left on the bomb timer, and they lose 2 key 1v1s, and they put Slasher in a bit of a sticky scenario. Fortunately for Slasher, he didn't overcommit into the bomb site, right? He picks up the kill on the bomb diffuser, then he gets out of there, thinking that Fighter's going to be playing for the quick trade and just buys enough time off of the clock, even wins the 1v1 in the end to shut down Fighter from earning those streaks.
That's also the second time on defense from Mindfreak we've seen where they completely give up the bomb site plant and they don't have a successful retake. So maybe adjustments coming in later on. You see Shock's able to find the first blood. He does get traded because a lot of presence for Rise Nation over towards B, and TJ, he's going to go for the hunt. He's not going to get hurt. You know the player's tagged up. You just got to find him in the corner. There's Buzzo, and there's the bomb.
And just like we saw in the Hardpoint match, like Rise Nation, they're playing like pretty close together with one another, like really focusing on the teamwork and really making sure that these trades go their way. Could clearly see that the practice and the VOD watching that they've done is paying off. They've adjusted their game plan just a little bit here. As in round 7, they have the man advantage. It's 3-on-2 as Dens and Fighter are left alive for Mindfreak. Fighter looking to get the bomb back under his control, but he's going to be met with some resistance. 2 Rise Nation players right around the corner. Does get some tags through the wall, but forced to reload. Also has a grenade to toss over their way, and here comes Dens with the help. They spot TJ around the corner. The nade here to zone him out. Dens is forced to back on out. No kills made here just yet, but take a look at the time remaining in the round. Mindfreak have to go. They only have 20 seconds.
I mean, it looks like they're trying to force B in as well, so that's going to be some tough gunfights for them to win because Slasher's just going to be waiting, able to find one, cleans up the second, and even if he fell, well, he definitely had the help in that situation. Yeah. It looks like for that round, it was just a good counter strategy coming in for Rise. Like, how many times have we seen Mindfreak show a little bit of a heavy preference over towards that B site? They always send 2 or 3, and Rise Nation says, well, instead of leaving 1 AR there, we'll just send half of our team.
Yeah. Just play more consolidated here in the search and destroy is Rise Nation. I believe Slasher's now on a 4 spree as he picked up the kill onto Fighted and the round 2 rounds ago, and he gets 3 kills in the previous round we just saw. So now he's the one working towards some streaks here for Rise Nation. It's actually a 5 spree, so 200 points. He's also going to have the bomb in his hand. If he gets the plan off, it'll give him plus 150. So dangerously close to getting this glide bomb, and it's going to be Rise Nation. They're setting up an assault over towards the B bomb site. Unfortunately, Slasher, you don't get points for killing your teammate. TJ falls early on. The trade not there for Looney, as now Slasher trying to follow with some grenades. Doesn't connect. Also has a smoke to use for a late round, but for the time being, the man advantage is in favor of Mindfreak. It's 4-on-2 as Gunless and Slasher are left alive.
I don't think we should count first blood stats if you kill your teammates. I mean, it is first blood. So, I mean, maybe give him one, like add him on the bottom of Mindfreak's stat page. Yeah. Just give him one there. But Fighter able to find the cleanup kill on Gunless is just trying to make a play. And, well, you got Slasher for the 0v4. Mindfreak are going to have the most convincing round possible. It is interesting because, again, I've mentioned it before. Mindfreak does kind of just completely give up the A site. They've given up the plant, and Rise Nation has been successful when they go there. And, well, the one time they go to B, that's where Mindfreak seems to thrive on defense. They just completely shut them down.
Yeah,
with the help of Slasher.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, team killing your teammate definitely doesn't help your case, but it's also something that Rise Nation should now be thinking about for these future offensive rounds. They're running out of time, and they're probably thinking, you know, our B-bomb site attacks, they haven't really worked out throughout this map. Maybe we should just commit ourselves in towards A, and at least give ourselves a fighting chance for the round. But it's going to be Mindfreak on their offensive round. Let's see if they can make some magic happen. First blood goes in their favor. Make it 2 as Dens finds the kill on the TJ Halley to follow up. And wasting no time, going immediately for the plant here. While you have Buzzo locking down the storage bunker window, has help from Shocks. Looney might get isolated here, but no, Looney's able to find 2. Stops the bomb from being planted as well, and all of a sudden a 4v2 down to a 2v2. Looney making plays happen here for a Rise. Around the corner, it's going to be Slasher blowing up the car, taking down Shocks, and now all of a sudden it's all down to Buzzo.
Hey, credit to Looney for even helping with that 3rd kill, comes in with the assist. That is a round that Mindfreak, well, they can't afford to lose, so we're going to see if they can clutch up. But Buzzo just got spotted. He's able to find 1. Slasher knows exactly where he is, and Buzzo, well, he doesn't know when or where that trade might be coming in, and Slasher eventually going to go on the full flank. Buzzo just didn't have information from that. He knows that Slasher has been playing over towards that B site quite a bit, and that's just a tough call to make. But either way, tough calls aside for the 1v2 situation that Buzzo tried to make some magic happen. You had a 4v2, and then you just let a player get picked off bomb. You don't appropriately cover. I don't know if, like, Looney just took a line of sight they weren't expecting or what the situation was, but at the very least, Mindfreak is learning something.
Yeah, Looney definitely bringing Rise Nation back in that round. And I also will say Slasher's been going big for his team, not only throughout this map at 11-5, but also late in the round. Like, he's been in these clutch scenarios, one of the last players alive, and just finding kills, trying to extend the round out. And now Rise Nation, a chance to go up 2-0 in the series. You see them? The bomb now going over towards that A-bomb site, so switching things up. This is what we like to see. They've definitely had the majority of their success on their offensive rounds, attacking this inner bomb site. Looney looking for first blood. Instead, he's going to be the one getting first blooded. TJ is there for the trade onto Fida. So evening up the man count as 1 minute remains here in round 10. On the flank, could be maybe gunless, as he's scoping out some information over towards the back operations bunker. Bomb dropped momentarily, but TJ should have no problem picking it back up. Stun connects close onto Dens right around the corner. They're going to challenge each other, and Dens wins the engagement.
And that's a smart play from Dens, who's just going to immediately push out. Slasher guessed the wrong side, and, well, it looks like we might have a round 11 on our hands. Bar Gunless clutching something crazy, but I like that challenge from Dens, right? He hears that pin getting pulled on the grenade. He sees it getting tossed in, knows exactly where he is, and says, well, he's not gun up, not gun ready. I have the window of opportunity. And more importantly, even from TJ's point of view, when he stuns that player, he thinks he's like laying down behind the box in the middle of the room, doesn't expect him to be just on the other side of the door realistically. So good stuff from Dens, and that was a round where Mindfreak, they've had trouble with letting the bomb go down at A, but this time they don't let it go down, right? They stack the presence inside the A site.
Yeah, the issue for me there with Rise Nation is as TJ connects with the hit marker onto the stun, Gunless should actually back up and challenge along with TJ in through closet to try to set up that crossfire. They would have had the kill on the Dens and probably the opening inside the bomb site. Instead, we're now in a round 11. You have Dens with the bomb, 3 kill spree as well. Just take a look at the scoreline for some of these players. Slasher is still the standout performer. It's going to be TJ defending the B bomb site alongside Slasher here, trying to fend off some maybe early aggression from Mindfreak, but it's really only Buzzo here. And TJ just spotted him. Slasher might try to move on forward as the utility's starting to be thrown out. Shots being exchanged, slowly inching forward. It's going to be TJ finds the first blood onto Buzzo, so it's a good start here to the final round for Rise Nation.
That's a very good angle coming in from TJ. Just spots the leg of Buzzo before Buzzo can see him, and they'll take what they can get. They have the opportunity to plant the bomb, and they might do so now just because they get the nade kill on Looney. They sniff him out, and, well, Looney was the guy in this situation before who kind of made the big play, so maybe they get the right guy, but you still got to deal with Slasher, who has 11 kills. Mindfreak, they're feeling the pressure. TJ's in school. Slasher's right behind him, but Spida and Shocks are stacked up, but TJ comes out on top. Is the trade going to be there? TJ's waiting for it. Fida shuts him down. Kills all over the place. Dens finds one on Gunless, and all of a sudden, it's Slasher trying to hunt this kill down for the 1v2, and he had his pistol out.
But he's got the STG, wins that engagement, but less than now, 20 seconds remaining. Takes 7.5 as well to defuse the bomb. Still doable here for Slasher, but he has to find this kill very quickly, and time not on his side. In fact, he's not going to have time for the defuse. It's going to be Mindfreak winning this round 11 and tying the series up. A big win for them here on Valkyrie Search and Destroy. And keep in mind, Search and Destroy has been Mindfreak's game mode since Anaheim. They went 9-2 at Anaheim in this game mode, and they're looking to carry that momentum through here in Stage 2. And a big series against Mindfreak, and that look on their faces, or sorry, against Rise Nation, that look on the faces of Rise Nation really tells the story.
And that was just, honestly, like, I don't even think that was necessarily Rise making mistakes. Like, yes, they had the one round where Slasher gets the team kill, but Mindfreak had a round where they threw away like a 4v2, and outside of that, I just thought it was great S&D. Mindfreak making really good defensive adjustments to either stack the bomb site when appropriate or to get the heavy pressure over towards B. Solid S&D all the way around. I think you pointed out their S&D records for each team on the map was 4-1. Well, now you got a 5-1 and 4-2.
Yep, that's how the math plays out. As Rise Nation, unfortunate for them, they drop that second map, so the hopes of a 3-0 no longer on the tables, as, you know, maybe their struggles continue a little bit. They've been dropping search after search, but the series not over yet. We're going to a quick commercial break. When we come back, Game 3 between Mindfreak and Rise Nation will continue.
Ladies and gentlemen, but mostly gentlemen, let's not kid ourselves here. Welcome back. We got Mindfreak, we got Rise, and we got ourselves a tie game. Rise Nation once again faltering just a little bit in the search and destroy, but in my opinion, it was less of a Rise Nation falter, more so of a Mindfreak just straight up beating them. And, well, now we go into a CTF on Ardent Forest.
I mean, just taking a look at the search and destroy stats for Rise Nation, they came into the start of this division like the last couple weeks. They were like 18-3 overall in search and destroy since the start of stage 2 up until the end of Anaheim. They've lost now like 3 or 4 straight search and destroys. Well, maybe not straight, but they're just getting a lot more losses on the board, and their win rate's starting to plummet a little bit in that game mode. And I guess it's a little bit unsettling to see because that's been the game mode that's been kind of carrying Rise Nation through a lot of these championship victories. So faltering there, not a good thing to see. But now coming up next as we look ahead towards the CTF, this is one where Rise Nation should win pretty comfortably.
Absolutely. I think the record on it is 5-5 for Forest, which isn't great, but like, you know, they'll take it because Mindfreaks is 1-5, right? So Mindfreak has definitely been on the struggle bus for CTF in general, but especially so on Forest. But that just, of course, means that Mindfreak, like, they have a permanent ban for it. They really just aren't a fan of playing Flak Tower because they're 0-3, so you kind of have to pick your poison, but that means the other team gets to play the map that they do want to play on it. So we'll see if they can pull off anything crazy. I definitely have seen some improvements for Mindfreak. Like, I don't think the 1-5 record does them justice as of recent. But still, obviously, against Rise Nation, always a tough task.
Yeah, fair enough. I guess the one thing that really worries me is overall in CTF, Mindfreak are 3-13 since the start of Stage 2, including Anaheim. So that's just not a lot of success in this game mode. And I remember last time we were casting Mindfreak, I brought it up. It's like been not necessarily like the bane of their existence, but it's something that holds them down in these series because we always think about CTF being like a swing game in the series. And to consistently be dropping that game 3 is just... it's got to be definitely unsettling if you're in the Mindfreak camp.
I mean, the alternative right now for Mindfreak is essentially they're going to have to either win this or the Hardpoint to force the game number 5, which granted for them, they've been pretty solid in game number 5s. They've been fantastic overall in S&D. So if they get there, definitely, I would be very concerned for Rise Nation, but the problem is getting there. So I think the swing game, it would be very important for Mindfreak to win. And of course, on the flip side of the table, Rise Nation, they just want to make sure they can secure their spot as like the top seed because that was definitely the expectation coming in. Like after Anaheim, you said no questions, Rise Nation top dogs, but they're looking a little bit shaky. They've taken a couple losses, been taken to game 5s pretty deep, even by Tainted Minds. So a lot of teams are hungry. They've been watching Rise Nation as the top team for 2-3 months now, has it been? They're starting to figure them out, maybe cracking the code a little bit. Maybe that's why the search and destroy has slowed down for Rise Nation. If you've been watching their strats in a double best-of-5 grand finals, you've seen Red Reserve play them on what, every single S&D map 2 or 3 times now. So you'll start to learn some things about your opponent.
Yeah, the information is definitely out there if you want to prep and do some VOD research on your opponent. As we're looking ahead towards this CTF game, loading on in. Rise Nation, Mindfreak all tied up 1-1. And I know coming into the start of this week, we all figured that Rise Nation would for sure solidify their spot in the playoffs by the end of the week, but that's just not the case. I mean, pretty much, I mean, yesterday we had our top 3 teams on division lose their games. So the gap is closing between the top teams and those on the bubble on the outside looking in as Ardent Forest CTF kicking off here. Mindfreak over towards the cabin side of the map. We're watching Buzzo as he's looking for the first kill of the map.
Well, we've seen Buzzo in this exact same situation. He lives on that cabin wall, and he will very rarely make a move until he knows it is perfectly safe. And, of course, Slasher's going to be on the other side of cave. So until they clear this out, he might just wait for the kill to come in. But, of course, there's many different parts of the map. And, well, Dent is going to find 3 out of 4 members of Rise Nation. So they were bound to get that kill.
Yep, Rise Nation now more aggression over towards the middle of the map, but take a look at the spread they have across all the lanes here. You have presence over towards the stump near the cave. You have 2 players threatening to push down through the mid lane, and you have TJ Halley who's set up over near the top platform. All the angles, all the power positions covered for the time being. It's Rise Nation, they're just looking for the opening down through a lane so that they can push on in over towards the Mindfreak base. And it looks like Gumless is going to try to create that opening himself. He's been able to slip through behind enemy lines, but now Mindfreak know that he's the last player alive, and they're going to be looking for him up on the map. He's able to find one, make it... get some help from Slasher in the end, but it was a little close for comfort there as it's still Rise Nation establishing their map control.
Well, you can see TJ's finding fighting because the communication has to be on point to know where every member is. And, well, let's get a bit of a taste of that. Let's go to an Astro Gaming listen-in with Rise Nation.
Dance on the wall, dance on the wall. Are you pushing the wall? Dance. He's on the wall still, there's 2.
Oh, there's 2, he rotated.
Push first, he pushed first. Middle's not
One's still in cabin.
Den's push first.
One's in our base. One's in our base right now. The guy cabin's not peeking me. Got me push up middle. Push up middle. Two on their flag.
I got a flag out.
I'm stunning it just in case he doesn't have it. I stunned something.
I think that's him. I think fourth.
You had to rotate.
Fourth dead.
Up one.
No, another one you, Dan. Another one you. Pushing. Nice. Last guy's flag.
Let's go flag. I'm trying to get cabin control.
Den's is on. Den's are like 300 points or something.
I'm making ice right now.
400.
Middle.
Back left.
I'm gonna come help right.
I'm holding ice right now.
Alright, I'm going to help right. I'm going to help right.
Right now. Austin, I don't see anything.
I can pick that up.
Nothing left side right now.
I stun checked inside. Anything?
Sending back ice.
He's still probably in there.
He's close.
Actually stunned on the slope. Near ice.
Oh, I got naded. He's weak there.
Hold up middle right now.
Two right.
Ice weak. Fight.
Ice one shot. He's coming out, I think.
Still there. One's probably mid on you too.
One's already your fire.
Another one got me middle. He's going to cabin right now.
Missing one. I'm trying to get
that cabin? Den's his cabin.
Den's his cabin, yeah. Cabin wall could be inside a bunker.
I hit him twice in bunker.
What's inside bunker right now? I spawned out.
One was at the wall.
Den's at the wall right now.
He's still at the wall.
Hit it up middle right now.
He's on the wall. I think he's
still on the wall. Try to nade the wall.
It's gonna be you, I think. Look at you. Top pot, weak.
No flash.
One up, middle, dead. Tell me you hit.
He's on the wall, right?
One was top pot.
I don't see him on the wall.
I'm on cabin wall right now.
Cabin dead.
Backed up top pot.
Weak from an 8 us.
Look at back bridge.
I'm trying to. Oh, he's back in cabin.
Again, tech. Cabin dead.
You mid fourth.
Winking at it. He's not peeking.
He's
fourth. He pushed up. Got me. Fight is still fourth right now.
One shot. He's pushing up mid. You stunned him. Actually stunned to the left. Like, you know when you hug the left over here?
Two us.
Alright, Austin's looking up middle right now.
He has to hit you mid.
Alright, left side's open.
He's left, bro. He's left.
I have to rotate.
He's cabin.
Very solid comes from Rise Nation, but very solid gameplay coming out from Mindfreak. They already have one flag, and they're looking for more. Slasher, though, he's able to get the cutoff kill, so that means Fight Out. Well, he's going to be by himself, and it looks like Looney able to stun him out, go on the flank, but the return, not there yet, because Shox is doing some damage, but the pinch is coming in, but Condense protects his teammate. Is going to be off to the left. There's one kill, but TJ and Gunless making sure they can stop and get that flag secure. Just a minute left in time, though.
I feel like if you're going to be one of the main flag carriers for your team and you're running airborne, you have to have instincts on it. I know that it's annoying to die by some Texas over and over, but it's more annoying when you have that flag in your hands and you get hit by a Hail Mary stun grenade leading to a return for the other team. You saw it happen right there as Rise Nation connected with the stun, slowed down the flag carrier, and now they're looking to stabilize up on the map. With 35 seconds remaining here in the first half, they're looking to strike and tie this game up. They have a good spread up on the map. They're just looking for the kills to punch on through.
And just to backtrack a little bit, like something worth pointing out about not having instincts, we even heard some of the comms from Gunless saying, actually stun. You call it out of the time there's a guy stunned, but you expect him to have armored or something along those lines. Hold your thought, though. Looney's got the flag. They're out and gone. They got to watch the OE, but TJ is going to be there before Shox is. Shox, though, he wins the gunfight, but Gunless with the STG is going to clean him up, shoot him in the back, and without those streaks coming in, well, Rise Nation in the final seconds are going to be able to tie up this game 1-1. And I don't think they're going to be able to set up for a rally. They might just be ready to put the flag in. There it goes. But just to reiterate, you hear the call-outs actually stunned. If you normally say a guy's stunned if he has armored or something like that, you know he's a little bit weak. You pepper him up a little bit, but still that man is going to be perfectly healthy essentially for the challenge. But saying he's actually stunned is like, oh, holy crap, like just go.
It's like you're a little bit surprised. You're like, oh, my stun actually hit. Oh, he's actually stunned up. He can't move right now. Let's go kill him. And I really love the play by Gunless there at the end. You saw as they were going for the flagpole, he wasted no time. He pushed through back ice, shot Shox in the back, and it also blocked off the cabin side spawn. So all the chance at an overextension from Mindfreak was immediately cut down once those spawns got blocked. But now moving into the final half here, CTFR down 4. It's all tied up 1-1. Gunless also 50 points away from that glide bomb.
Good opening break for Rise Nation because of mainly the ARs. TJ shows a little bit of love, but then gets caught trying to push through because of Buzzo, but that's exactly who Slasher is going to be trying to gun down and actually pinched in, and the kill goes to the correct person. You see, Gunless is able to get the glide bomb, and if he gets these streaks, honestly, that's just going to be huge for deciding the game on Force. Looney, by the way, behind the entire enemy team. I don't think any of them are going to be prepared for it. Does he get the kills first or go for the flag? He's going to do both, potentially. Knows that Shox is there. Comes down to the gunfight, but they might just be able to feed it to Gunless, who, by the way, earned the full streaks, but Shox is going to shut him down. So that's a small win, well, huge win for Mindfreak early, but still those streaks are there for Gunless.
Massively important kills there for Mindfreak as they hold off the Rise Nation aggression, but has the damage been done? With Gunless earning those streaks, you figure there are going to be more offensive opportunities shaping up for Rise Nation. You have Looney on your screen here, looking to fend off the pressure coming in through ruins. You see Mindfreak establishing their spread around the map. They have all their lanes covered. 2 players stacked up over towards ruins, which is exactly where Looney's about to feel this pressure. Just playing his positioning for the time being, but here comes Zenz. Finds that opening kill, and now it's Mindfreak pitching on in, not only from the middle lane, but also around through back ice.
Trying to get those kill trades, though. It's going to be up to Buzzo versus Gunless, and Buzzo comes out on top of it. Dens finds a kill as well, so you got to make your move before those players come off spawn, and Buzzo's going to push. It's Looney by himself. Can he waste time? Can he slow down the flag? Well, here's the stun. Is it an actual stun? No, it's not. That is instincts coming in, and that is going to force the streaks coming out of Gunless. And fight it. Yeah, I think Gunless saw he's going to be able to make it to hell. He has to kill someone else, and this is the opening for Rise to go for the counter pull, but they got to go fast. They got guns coming down. The flag is right next to TJ. Do you get the stop? No, they don't. He dives it on in. Big plays coming out from Fight It, because you can see why. The fighter pilot coming in behind. Rise should be able to put a flag in on board. But again, if Fight It doesn't go for that dive, this is Mindfreak in a terrible spot. But now Rise had to do that just to tie the game.
All right, would have been nice for them to stop that flag cap, but at least you're able to tie the game up. Once again, all eyes now glued onto Looney. Player coming around the back, through back bunker. Takes out Fight It, gets the second onto Dens as well, but he doesn't have any help. 2 kills. Let's see if it's going to be enough. It's going to be Gunless to follow up this push. Meanwhile, TJ's trying to find some footing in through the mid lane. Actually, he wraps back to help out Gunless through bunker. Still the artillery barrage here to call in. Gunless gets some information as he gets tagged up. He's forced to back out of this situation, waiting for his teammates to come, close the distance, and help him out. Gunless, TJ both finding kills. Make it 2 here for Gunless. One more player to get past. It's off to Fight It versus Looney. Looney wins the fight. The one-on-one goes in favor of Rise Nation. Looney now with the flag in his hands. All they need to do is cut off the overextension, and this will be Rise Nation taking the lead.
Well, Slasher's job is to watch mid. The players coming off spawn, job to watch the dome overextension, but Buzzo's going to find him. The question is it going to be in time? Mindfreak, they have 2 players trying to funnel through the middle. They got to get past Gunless, and they do, but you can see just a little bit too slow on the retake. Rise is up 3-2 in flags, but now Mindfreak might try to surge forward, get the counter cap, but it looks like gonna get stuffed early on. Rise Nation cleaning out their base.
Yeah, and it's Gunless going off, man, at 18-9. He's been having a huge impact on this map. Gunless not checking his corners. Is that gonna be Fight It sneaking on through? Nah, he checks it just in time. Smart play, heads up from Gunless. Shutting down any chance of a sneaky play happening. Also, keep in mind that artillery barrage still in play, could call him in, maybe to cut off a future overextension. But right now, Rise Nation, they're just looking to kind of contain Mindfreak in the back of their base, maintain control of the map, set up in the power positions to just slay. If the opportunity presents itself to put on some offensive pressure, I'm sure they're going to take it gladly, but for the most part, as long as you keep Mindfreak dead, watching the kill cam, Rise Nation will walk away with the win.
Well, the issue is you got a lot of players in power position to get past. Like Buzzo at some point is going to have to clear out Gunless. He's going to have to make some moves, but really, how can you? Someone else has to do it, and it looks like Gunless is just going to get the solo kill. TJ's on the other side of the map. They're looking for all 4. Looney's going to find them, and Rise Nation, if they get this next flag, it's just the cherry on top. TJ's going to force at least 1 player to spawn in the back, and there's all 4, but they might just get another wave of kills if they're all lining up. Gunless is just going to try to feast. He's able to find 2. He's got the flag. He's gone, and then, well, Slasher doesn't win the gunfight, but Gunless, he should just be fast enough, right? Can the player get to bunker in time? If not, Looney should have the cutoffs, and there it is. Rise Nation doing the dirty to get that 4th flag in, solidifying their win. Mindfreak simply just doesn't have the time.
More streaks earned here by Gunless, and with 15 seconds remaining, he's just going to let it rain from the sky. Might find the kill here on the Buzzo, does just that. Might as well use the artillery barrage after. Unfortunately, only 25 points away from that fighter pilot, so you can't call in that tier 3 streak. Anyways, Rise Nation with a convincing win here in Ardennes Force capture the flag. The CTF woes continue for Mindfreak as they now fall behind in the series 1-2. Rise Nation looking to close it out on this next hardpoint.
And Mindfreak, again, I think it's kind of similar to what we said in the hardpoint, right? Where they actually do a very good job of creating opportunities. Like Gunless, you have to deal with him being fully streaked out. On a map like Forest, it's nearly impossible. But while they're dealing with the fighter pilot and the glide bomb getting called in, they actually cap a flag to give them the lead, which granted, because of the fighter pilot, Rise Nation is able to get the instant return. But you burn 2 impactful streaks, and it's essentially a tie game at the end of it. Like, that's a zero-sum game. Like, you take that. You're perfectly fine in that situation. The problem is, after that, Rise Nation, of course, on the preferred side, eventually just able to suffocate their opponent back in their base, and, well, they ended up getting 2 more flags.
Yeah, suffocate is the best word to use in that situation. It was so tough in those, like, last 2.5 minutes for Mindfreak to actually push out and, like, see what the middle of the map looked like. They were just so far pinned back, they couldn't really deal with the assault rifle players that were posted up for Rise Nation. Maybe they could have brought out, like, some smoke grenades or something to try to block off those lines of sight, but then again, whenever you bring out smokes, that means you're not running armored, so lethal or concussion is going to stun you up, and it was just a tough situation for Mindfreak, but in the end, it's Rise Nation walking away with the win there. Once again, they go up in the series 2-1, and they have a chance to close it out on this next map.
And now it comes down to Valk Hardpoint. Mindfreak, they need to get this win just to force the Game 5, which is obviously a doable win for them if they do make it to the S&D, because they've been great in that search. But still, like, they're winning map number 2. Like, it goes to round 11. Rise Nation is going to be tough in every single game mode you put them against, but we'll see if they come up big. And I think the map counts, it's going to be a situation where, well, they're not great for either team, I don't think, and even still, Rise Nation, they still have that edge.
Yeah, just to give you some concrete numbers behind that, Mindfreak are 2-7 on Valkyrie Hardpoint. Rise Nation are 4-3. So this is one of, I guess, the weaker Hardpoint maps you could play Rise Nation on, even though Mindfreak aren't kind of well-versed on this map. If you take a look at the map records for Rise Nation on the other maps, this might be one of the better shots for Mindfreak to squeak out a win. And keep in mind that they always play these top North American teams close, and they play them tough, especially riding off that big momentum wave coming off of Anaheim. They're still capable of coming back in the series and forcing that Game 5.
Yeah, the map counts only tell, like, a small part of the story. How many times, even, I think, just yesterday, let alone this entire week, have we been like...
all the top 3 teams lost.
It's like Team A, their map count, like Gibraltar Hardpoint example for Optic. They were undefeated in it. Tainted Minds, the record was not great.
They were winless.
And then they pull off the win. So the map counts is a decent indicator, but that does not mean in the slightest that this is outright a win for Rise Nation. Again, as you pointed out, Mindfreak, absolutely, they've been going toe-to-toe against the top teams in the world for years now, let alone in World War II. They've always been just like slightly behind the opposition, but if there's a time to take down the best team in the division, Rise Nation, it's today. Well, probably yesterday, but then today would be the next best.
Yeah, of course, especially considering the fact that Rise Nation, they're coming off 2 straight losses plus a Game 5 against Tainted Minds before that to kick off the week. So certainly you're catching Rise Nation on maybe a weaker day.
At their
perhaps, yeah.
You know, it's not that tournament setting. We heard from the comms, right? The comms were good. The information's good. It's very clean.
Not a lot of intensity, though.
Yeah, the energy's not there. It's not a grand finals level communication, as makes perfect sense as to why. So again, it's not a criticism, but if you're trying to beat the best team, this is where you have to do it.
Plus, you have to consider the fact, maybe Mindfreak also trying to play a bit of spoiler. Rise Nation could continue to drop down the standings, even though they are currently #1 in this division. Always the chance with not only today, but also 1 full week of matches remaining. Plus, Mindfreak are also thinking about practice ahead, right? Upcoming CWL championships, August 15th. They want the best preparation, the best practice possible to put on a good showing and showcase their performance at that event.
I know this is an outlandish situation, but now that I think about it, Rise Nation has already played Tainted Minds. They've already played Complexity. They're playing Mindfreak now. They only have 7 wins. If they lose to Mindfreak and drop to like 7-4, their 3 matches next week are going to be against like the top teams in the division.
Hungry teams too.
Yeah, I was about to say, and if you go 7-7, I don't know, that's not necessarily good enough. It definitely doesn't guarantee playoffs. It depends on how things work out, but you're going to want at least 8 wins. So now that I think about it, Rise Nation, yeah, they're probably going to want to win here because it's only going to get tougher. So
yeah, you figure they have to play LG, they have to play Unilad, they have to play Optic Gaming.
Not easy at all.
Yeah, it's going to be very tough. But we'll see. Rise Nation, they're certainly the favorites in this division. You figure they'll get out of this little, quote, slump.
Again, like in my mind, I've been thinking since week 1, like 100% Rise is going to get out. I've never really entertained that possibility, but I think it has to be at least mentioned at this point. Like, we've seen some top teams collapse in the past. Like, I think the team that got second,
Evil Geniuses.
The team that got second at Seattle, they ended up losing to the #1 team, but they didn't make it to this playoffs, right? And they had a collapse. So Rise Nation, again, they just want to close it down here on Valkyrie. No love lost, no problem. They got players inside the hill. All the kills go down eventually in favor of Rise Nation to be the first ones to kind of break in a ventilation room for all of 3 seconds.
And some takeaways we could take from map 1 as well as map 2 in this series is Rise Nation, they played a lot more coordinated and a lot more consolidated when it came into breaking hard points and just playing off one another for general trades around the map. Let's see if they try to employ that same game plan here. Always a solid thing to rely upon and a consistent way to play the game. As the upcoming hardpoint, its ventilation room is close to expiring, only 15 seconds remaining. It's up towards the top side of the map at the operations bunker. Mindfreak have put themselves in a great position. They've won the majority of the points here on the first hardpoint. They have early positioning, and spawn should be in their favor as you look ahead towards the operations bunker.
As long as they get the kills, this is a pretty solid spot for Mindfreak to be in. They even have Fighter that's able to refrank the ventilation room. So 33-9 lead, they'll take it, but you got to win the gunfights at next. Fighter's able to tag up one player, kill the next, and he's going for the cutoff kills. He gets traded, but he does some damage on the way. It might slow Rise Nation down a little bit or make it easier for Dens, even with a sub, to watch the cross.
Exactly that. Now inside the hardpoint, you have Shocks laying down, just waiting for some Rise Nation players to cross into his line of sight. Crossfire also established by Fighter, who's right behind him. And now Rise Nation, they just get lured into the death trap. 3 fall on their side as Mindfreak continue to build its lead. Plus thinking ahead, Shocks on a 2 spree inside the hardpoint. He's got 375 points now, over halfway towards that glide bomb now, 500 total points. So he's closing in on that streak.
This is a very good situation for Mindfreak to be on, as good as it gets. But obviously, yes, the streaks is something Shocks is definitely going to want to be able to get. And we saw, like, Rise Nation, for example, on map number 1, playing very, very structured. Does Mindfreak take their time? Do they wait for their teammates to come in for the break? Or do these two players just kind of try to force things in? Or do they go for picks? Well, Buzzo, he's playing slow, but he's finding picks. That makes his Dens' job just a little bit easier. You see number 6 is coming in from the wings. Shocks is there. Fight is even coming. So they're trying to take their time with it. Dens has got to wait for Buzzo, though. He's able to find one. And that might be perfect. There you go. The bait and switch is in. And this is Mindfreak trying to break through. They got the swarm. They got the pinch from every angle. Can they get the streaks? They got at least the glide bomb, potentially more. But either way, that's a perfect 2 to 3 hill break.
Oh, absolutely. Beautifully done by Mindfreak. Unfortunately, Shocks falls. No further streaks earned by him. Now action continuing to go down here at the storage bunker. Around the back over towards loading. It's going to be Looney taking down Buzzo. He's working alongside Slashers. They're trying to break back into this hard point. Shocks catches the grenade by Looney, but still a 70-point lead and growing here for Mindfreak. They're still finding kills in and outside the hard point. Dens finds 2 to follow this up. The spawn's also incoming for Mindfreak over towards the smokestack side of the map. And we would consider the fact that the upcoming hardpoint is over towards office. Mindfreak still want to push through the hardpoint, get this scrap time, wrap around through loading, and pushing through office there, and now Dens is fully streaked out.
Just more streaks. Mindfreak is giving Rise Nation the hands right now. A perfect rotation for the break on third after basically a perfect hold on the second hill as well. The bunkers are all in their name. The question is, can they get through the office? The glide bomb doesn't connect. They know where Looney is, but you'd expect him to be there anyway. So a bad streak usage potentially coming in. This is a lot of time already off the clock before they've even had one push. 20 seconds gone. All towards Rise.
And this is the answer to your previous question. Are Mindfreak going to slow down and try to take their time when it comes down to these breaks? It looks like that's exactly what they're doing. Really trying to focus on getting these intra kills. 2 of them, by the way, going in favor of Fighter. He finds 3 to enter on in. Now Looney feeling the pressure. Has to take down Fighter. Yes, he does. Shuts him down. So Rise Nation maintain control of the hardpoint. And look, on a map like Valkyrie, if you get your ideal setup going on either of these hardpoints, you have the chance to lock it down for the full time. So Rise Nation, they're still well within this game.
Absolutely. Mindfreak, though, they're trying to keep him out just at the very end. They're trying to fight for those final 10. Gunless gets dropped, so pretty solid hill coming in from Rise, especially because they were able to burn one of the glide bombs, but 70-point game. This is insane, honestly, that Mindfreak even has this big of a lead. It is Rise Nation that won the rotation over towards smokestacks, but Dens and Buzzo were finding the kills. Looney's got to be that guy. He's by himself, and while the glide bomb's going to make sure that he can't get any help, and the players aren't far enough inside a bunker, they both get dropped, and more streaks potentially coming on board again. Mindfreak are taking it to him. +4, +6, +4, and Buzzo's even. Aussies they've shown up, man.
Shocks could have gotten more streaks there, but some sloppy shots against TJ, who shuts him down, but still, the follow-up kills are here for Mindfreak as they're rebuilding the lead they once had, now up by 80 points and continuing to build on top. That's still 25 seconds remaining here on the smokestacks. Mindfreak just now hitting that 150-point mark, just about there, as Rise Nation break on in. Number 7, Dens. He's laying down, just watching lane. Thought for a second he might be calling in a streak, but good thing that he isn't, because there's only 10 seconds remaining. Wouldn't have the biggest impact, but when we speak about the rotation, back towards this ventilation room, he's able to find one. Takes down Looney, buys time, and buys room for his teammate Fighter to push on in.
Either way, first third rotations is in, and that's close to a 70-point lead for Mindfreak. And again, Rise, they're going to want to get this win. Going to map 5 against, well, any team, it's been a problem for him recently, right? So let alone the fact that Mindfreak has been very, very solid in the S&D. Still, though, Rise on the ventilation room. They've gotten 20 seconds on this hill. They've gotten the complete lockdown. They're already pushing out spawns as well. And Mindfreak, it looks like they've slowed down considerably. Dent, he's just patient. He's watching crosses, but Rise will say, okay, we're getting all the time. We'll wait for you to take the gunfights inside the hill. And for the moment, getting traded out back and forth. Eventually, Mindfreak does come out at top. But at what cost? That's a lot of time that just went the way of Rise.
But still, this is a good 20 seconds for Mindfreak to get. This will reestablish their roughly 80-point lead going into the operations bunker hardpoint. And look, if this one does wind up going to a Game 5, let's just recap the last 4 matches now for Rise Nation. Game 5 against Tainted Minds, you win that. Game 5 against United, you lose that. You get 3-0'd by Complexity. And now another potential Game 5 here against the second Australian team in Mindfreak. It's certainly been not the best week for Rise Nation, but still chances for them to squeak out the win. They're finding some kills here as the operations bunker just popped up. This might be a good opportunity for somebody like Dens to pop in that fighter pilot, maybe the artillery barrage, and block off certain choke points on the map. Fighter looking to maintain control of the spawns for his team, or at least be a nuisance, a thorn in the side of Rise Nation. Not going to happen, as now it's Mindfreak forced to push through the front.
Still contest time coming in. Gunless might have to make the move, but how can you when you're getting naded out by probably every single member of Mindfreak? TJ, he's going for the contest, but they have even more nades in the back pocket. Stuns coming through, and the challenge as well. Rise Nation, it looks like they want to take one more crack. They're going for the flood. Looney by himself doesn't get traded out because he's able to find 2, which is important for his teammates to maybe go and help. Buzzo gets cleaned up, and that is a incredibly early artillery strike on the other side of, well, that smokestacks.
But it does block off the rotation where Rise Nation were pushing, so now they're forced to funnel through vents here.
But who cares?
I mean, yeah. Let's see if they can get time off of it. We'll see what happens here over towards the back. They got to make sure that they solidify their kills over towards the loading side, and Buzz was able to find 2. There's the third on the TJ Halley, so it looks like it works out in the end. And take a look at the slaying here for Rise Nation. Nobody positive for them. Such a weird stat line to see.
All's well that ends well for the artillery. Now this is just going to keep them trapped inside. Looney, though, able to get inside the hill, and the man calling in the streaks is also in the hill. So nearly a bad situation. Maybe pays off. It does buy Mindfreak an extra 10 seconds, but now the contest comes in. Dent's getting the self-trade. Pre-fires for the second, connects, but not before Rise is able to break through. But with the situation here, it looks like it might be a little bit scrappy towards the end. Fighter breaks through. You expect these 2 players to challenge, maybe take him down. They're going to look for it, see if they can get it. Fighter just doing it by himself. Ooh. He connects with both, but the third's going to be there. But that does help secure Mindfreak again. The setup over towards Office, and this is the only hill Rise really had any success on.
And these types of situations always favor the leading team massively, because Rise Nation are in a position where they have to find a way to deny scrap time for Mindfreak, win a rotation over towards the next hardpoint. There's so many things that they have to do, and they can't afford to make really any mistakes. Only 25 more points for Mindfreak to force this Game 5. Rise Nation currently find themselves down by around 90 points and growing. That's breaking back into the hard point. It's Buzzo on your screen. Mindfreak looking to reestablish the setup they once had, and always on Office. You should see a lot of tight setups, and for good reason. It's all inside this one building, so you have everybody kind of stack up inside the corners, establish your crossfires, and protect one another. Dent's having a big game at 25 and 15.
And Mindfreak is just so scrappy right now. They're making it so difficult for Rise to get towards this hill. Dent inside of the hill is juggling. He's able to find 2. Gets caught on the reload, but the trade is good enough to be there. Mindfreak, it's looking like they're here to make a statement. 5 seconds away, make it 6 from ending the game. Rise, they're forced to just flood for this scrap time, and Mindfreak, they can do whatever they want. They can force in, and if DJ picks up a huge 3-piece, great. Now we just have to win the rotation battle. I think they might even still have another streak potentially in the back pocket, or maybe they burned them all, but does it really matter? 6 seconds away. Rise Nation would have to just do something insane, and it doesn't look like that's going to be the case.
Yeah, like I said, no mistakes could afford to be made by Rise Nation, and well, I believe it was Fida at the end there picking up kills inside the hard point to secure the victory there for Mindfreak, as we will be going to a Game 5. The woes continue here for Rise Nation as they're dropping respawns, they're dropping Search and Destroys, and Search and Destroy will be our Game 5. Like I just pointed out, 3 of their last 4 series now have gone to Game 5.
And what a freakish game number 4 that was, though, right? Like, how many score streak opportunities did Mindfreak almost get to? I think they earned 4 that game. Buzzo nearly got fully streaked out. Dens at one point was debating on whether or not he wanted to overlap on his streaks. I think Shocks had, like, every single player at some point got streaked out. I think all 4 players go positive and by a relatively decent margin, like, but not like cracking 1 kill over, like 4, 5, 6 kills in the positive. They had a fantastic game number 4. and that might carry some momentum over towards that final S&D.
Of course, it's a very convincing win for Mindfreak there in Game 4. It's the last day of Week 3 here for Division B, and we're kicking things off with a bang as Mindfreak and Rise Nation will find themselves on a Game 5. The woes are continuing here for Rise Nation as their struggles continue. Game 5 when we come back after this quick break.
Welcome back. We got a Game 5 alert on our hands in an insane one at that because, you know, coming into this week, I had zero expectations of anything other than Rise making playoffs.
Same.
Pretty much of anything other than Rise coming away with that #1 seed. Maybe someone knocks them down a second, but like, no big deal. But the situation they find themselves in now, if they lose this Game 5, the competition they have next week, I mean, theoretically, is much more difficult than they have this week, right? Like, outside of United,
It's not theoretically, it's definitely.
Well, the way Tainted Minds have been looking, they're pulling off some upsets. Complexity looks good. So, like, the way things shape up at the end, who knows? But coming into it, yes, they've played the bottom 3 teams, and then United was in 4th, not 5th, but nearly the bottom 4, very close to it. So that means they got to play the toughest competition next week. And if they lose here, and it gets tougher for them, this could turn into, I mean, it would be catastrophic. But in Rise going 7-7, so maybe they cannot make playoffs. Again, hypothetically, and it would be insanity, but it's plausible.
Listen, there's a percentage for that happening, so we also have to entertain that fact as well. And also keep in mind, just like you're saying, and to piggyback off your comment, the teams they play next week are so hungry. I mean, Optic, Luminosity, Unilab, like those are also teams looking to solidify their spot in the top 4. But we have one final map left in this series. It's Ardennes Forest, Search and Destroy. Mindfreak are 4-3 on this map and mode, while Rise Nation are 7-1. Brought up some similar stats as well for that Valkyrie Search and Destroy. Sometimes they don't always tell the full picture. Mindfreak's certainly capable of coming out in this map, but statistical advantage should go in favor of Rise Nation. However, despite Search and Destroy being their best mode, and despite them coming into the start of these divisions as the best Search and Destroy team in the game, they've been slipping as of late, and they've been dropping maps.
I mean, not just that's in the S&D. Like, yes, they give the statistical advantage, but what did we say about even the Valkyrie or Hardpoint? Yep. It was the exact same story of, like, yes, this team obviously has the edge. Yes, Rise Nation, best team in the game, yada, yada, yada. But the way they're looking now, absolutely not. So do they have a massive advantage on the Forest based on the stats? Yes. Do I care? At this point, no. not in the slightest. I really just don't. I think ultimately it comes down to just who shows up and, like, makes less mistakes. Because we saw for the game number 2, I think each team kind of had one single round that you could pinpoint. Okay, we completely threw that one away. Yep. But outside of that, it was just back and forth S&D. It was going toe-to-toe. So they got to make sure their gameplay is clean, because this has pretty huge implications potentially for Rise Nation. And then Mindfreak, obviously they're not in the best spot, but you could, I guess, spin that story and say they want to try to keep the playoff dream alive and finish at 7-7. Of course, that means they would have to be perfect from here on out.
I agree with your sentiment, Chance. As Rise Nation, you got to think about what a loss here would do for their overall mindset as well. Just to recap the start of their week, they kicked things off with a Game 5 against Tainted Minds. They wound up winning that, but then they lose the following Game 5 against the United. Yesterday, they got 3-0'd by Complexity, and now here against Mindfreak, they find themselves in yet another Game 5. Will they win it? Only time will tell, but once again, what would it do to their mindset? And you already brought up the situation, you know, it's possible that we might not see Rise Nation make playoffs. I would say unlikely, an unlikely situation, but still possible.
You also made the point kind of off camera earlier. It's like we don't know what is going on with Rise Nation in scrims. We don't know how things are looking. We don't know if there's any like drama within the team, that sort of thing. But what we know would happen is, like, if they lose here, they would just be pissed off, right? And of course, that could just be then like lighting a fire in Rise. Then they come back and storm through everybody next week. Obviously, they're capable, but again, things get messy, and this is not the time of the year where you want things to get messy.
Also, you have a lot of strong personalities on that Rise Nation lineup. Maybe now's about the time if they continue down this downward path where those personalities start clashing a little bit. This Rise Nation, they're looking to at least end the week on a high note. We know where we found ourselves here as both teams have traded maps back and forth, leading to a Game 5. Rise Nation, they want to secure their spot in the top 4. Mindfreak, they're just looking to play a little bit of spoiler and get some good practice as they look ahead towards the CWL championships in mid-August. Coming up pretty soon, only like 3-4 weeks away. But Rise Nation, man, I don't know if we could hammer home the point enough. Especially that man on your screen here, TJ Halley. He's been their standout performer for Search and Destroy for this Rise Nation lineup. He has to show up for this Game 5.
That would be nice, because the hard points, it seemed like he really wasn't there for either of them. Even in the same re where Rise Nation got the win, it seemed like he started out triple negative and eventually started to turn things around, and that was the factor when TJ kind of turns things around. But of course, the flip side of it, we're talking about the potential woes of Rise. For Mindfreak, yes, most likely they're just looking forward to champs to see how well they can do, but if they make some nasty improvements potentially for the next week they have in the Pro League after this, I mean, they just got a top 8. A top 8 at champs is great, and can they even go higher? Right now, though, you got 4 players rushing towards B. They just got smoked off the line of sight, but Rise Nation, well, they're not in Dome. They're in mid. And I don't know if Mindfreak knows quite yet.
The quick flank coming out of Looney here gets met by Dens, and Dens is the player to look out for on Mindfreak as Shox opens up 2 kills, but Dens has a 1.22 KD coming into today when it comes down to Search and Destroy, leading the team for Mindfreak, and they start off strong here in round number 1, a quick round victory for them.
That's a perfectly quick round win for Mindfreak. Rise trying something new. They got that triple stack over towards mid, and well, Mindfreak, the most important thing for them was watch the flank. They timed it perfectly. Dens making the big play, and of course all the gunfights over towards you just go the way of Mindfreak, and that is not a very good start for Rise Nation, and obviously it's very nice to get an offensive round win in general.
You know, what I think the problem is for Rise Nation is someone else on the team has to dye their hair blonde. They got that juju going in their favor when Gunless first did it. Maybe they need somebody else to step up to the plate and restore that a bit.
Zuma might need to give his man another Pokemon shout out.
That would help too.
Whatever it might be, Dens with the first blood. Looney does get a trade on a different player. Buzzo, he's pushed up into you. He's got a player right next to him. STG or not, though, he takes him down. Dens is able to get the trade on Looney. Looney, of course, tunneled in, trying to get the trade for his teammate on Buzzo. Fight a spot Slasher. He's just going to do a little dance, try to make sure to keep him at bay. Slasher tries to get aggressive, but you see the bait and switch coming in. They made sure to approach from 2 different angles. These are big kills and big rounds coming out of Mindfreak.
Oh, that's a beautiful round coming out of Mindfreak. As Buzzo picks up the kill onto Looney, not onto Looney, I believe it was TJ and you. It draws the attention from Looney from top plat over towards you, opens up the angle for Mindfreak to pick up that trade kill onto Looney, and then Fida just playing his life, not overcommitting to the challenge onto Slasher. It's Buzzo who winds up picking up that kill. A strong start to this game 5 for Mindfreak. They find themselves up 2-0, back on offense now. Shox 3-1. But you also have Dens, 3 kills in a row. Buzzo with the bomb, he's on a 2 spree as well.
This time, though, the triple stack isn't mid. The triple stack is over by B. Looney has already made it into you. TJ's in support on the pillar, and, well, now the problem is for Mindfreak is you got here. What's going to be the opening? They're trying to nade Slasher, but they don't get enough to kill him, or maybe they do. You see more come in. The stun actually takes him down. That's how weak they got him, but TJ's still up top. Still, the exact same situation, even without Slasher. How do you get rid of this player up top now? All the utility, I'm pretty sure, for Mindfreak is burned, and are they just stuck in Bell? Do they have to ride back? Do you try to force it through? These are not easy gunfights to win. No,
absolutely not. And Mindfreak, you're running out of time to work with. 45 seconds left on the clock here, trying to find another pick, bringing the man advantage in their favor and also opening up the map a little bit for them to roam on out. Looks like the rotation is going to be the play call here. TJ, important for him to replace this position that Slasher left open as he fell. But the bomb should be able to cross on over. I believe Looney may have spotted the head of Buzzo there down the middle of the map, while Gunless is going to back up inside the A bomb site. Mindfreak, you have to go. You have to commit to something. You only have 20 seconds left, and the bomb is in the middle of the map.
Buzzo just wins the gunfight. L trigger the whole way, and you see TJ not able to finish that kill, but then Buzzo just gets caught. They knew exactly what TJ is. Dens, though, finds the kill to maybe make up for love lost.
He's going to be with the bomb. He's going to be with the bomb. Is he going to get in time? Is he going to start planning in time? No, he's running through. How do you not go for the plate there? What are you doing, Mindfreak? At least give yourself a shot. Like, hold square, try to get it down. I felt like he would have had time, but maybe not. In the end, Mindfreak, you just take way too long making plays happen. And Rise Nation get their first round on the board due to time expiring.
I didn't even notice the time, honestly. I didn't expect it to be that far down. I guess that explains why Buzzo is running just basically out in the open where he knows TJ can kill him from. Not a good approach. Maybe a tough pill to swallow. Maybe he did not actually have the time. It'd be very tough to... I mean, he got next to the bomb, what, like right at 5 seconds, basically? Like, it's tough to say. Either way, Rise Nation, they will feel very lucky to get that round win.
Oh, absolutely. I guess for Mindfreak, at least Den stays alive throughout all of that. He still has his progression towards streaks, and that's going to be Rise Nation heading over towards that A-bomb site on their offensive round, looking to type the round count. Buzzo's going to back up, but inside the bomb site, it's going to be Fido, looking to hold his position strong. Get some initial shots into Looney, but he's trapped inside the corner. As he leaves it, opens up the angle for Slasher to find the kill. First blood going in favor of Rise Nation, and you also have Dens working on the long flank, about to run into Gunless. Gunless comes out on top, shuts down Dens on that streak, and now the heavy man advantage, 4-on-2 for Rise Nation.
Buzzo's trying to make the play. He might be able to do just that, but he does get traded. That is Rise Nation, I think, just straight up overpowering at the A site. You know, Buzzo's so far back in ice, he can't really help his teammate out. And I'm expecting that's the case because of the utility. My guess would be that they just burn a lot of nades, a lot of stuns, force them all the way back or force the rotation in. But Rise Nation, when I was expecting them to be down in this situation 3-1, they were able to tie things up.
Yeah, let's remember that third round where time expired. See if it comes back to bite Mindfreak, because as it stands, that's allowed Rise Nation to tie this game up 2 rounds apiece. TJ on your screen as he's got 3 kills in a row. It's going to be Rise Nation stacking the A bomb site. Slasher with a chance to get isolated out over towards B. The smokes are deployed. The cover's here for Mindfreak, and Slasher doesn't have control of top plat. Instead, he's going to give up full control of the bomb site, trying to fight the 4-on-4 retake, as it should be Mindfreak getting this bomb planted momentarily.
Well, pressure in my mind right now is on Shox. He's got to watch the full flank. He's got to deal with players coming from mid, and it looks like Looney wants to go for that trade, but he might have been able to get out of dodge. He makes it to back Bell. And Looney, because of the route that he takes, he's not going to be able to get the trade. TJ, though, mid-map, takes down Buzzo, I'm assuming from top plat. Fida and Dens are going to be working you together, but everyone from Rise is going to be pushing through. Looney's coming from the front. The smokes are going to be a distraction, and they're going to take him down. All of a sudden, Shocked for the 1v4. He finds a kill on Gunless. But honestly, in this situation, what do? You got TJ in the power position. You rip him off a head glitch. You got to kill the bomb diffuser or just kill Slasher. He finds him. You got to get the time. You got to sprint. And Looney sticks the bomb. A 1v4 that got turned into a 1v1 and got nerve-wracking. If I was Looney, I would be furious that my teammates fell, but all is well that ends well. They still get that round win.
That was an exciting finish. Fortunately for Looney, that little pile of snow, he was in a little dip next to the bomb site, gets him enough cover. Shox couldn't see that he was defusing, but the opportunity was certainly there. Makes it exciting in the end. 3 kills going to Shox, who's got 7 already in this map. TJ right behind him at 6 and 3 for Rise Nation, but first blood goes in favor of Shox. Looking for more kills as he's on a force free. Good progression towards that glide bomb, getting challenged inside you though. He's got a teammate looking over him. They find the kill on the TJ, but Shox dies after that as Slasher gets the trade. Meanwhile, it's Fida pushing up the cave side of the map, maybe looking to wrap around these Rise players. Could get a line of sight onto Slasher, does so. Good trigger discipline, just gonna back up, get more positioning as they look to isolate Gunless behind that fire tank.
Well, Slasher falls as well, and you see the trigger discipline from Fida means he can come up behind Gunless and just shoot him straight in the back, and because of the trigger discipline, Gunless had no idea what the situation actually was, and very nice bounce back round from Mindfreak. Frankly, it seems like every single round, Mindfreak is consistently putting themselves in very good spots, and they get the bomb down over towards B, you got a straight up 4v4, and then sometimes Rise just overpowers, finds the picks, makes the big play, but either way, these are always rounds that seem to just be at least leaning slightly towards Mindfreak with the advantage. They're looking good.
Look, this game could easily be 5-1 in favor of Mindfreak. Think about that. You know, that the round number 3 where they lose it due to time. The potential 1v4 from Shox if he had the angle to take Looney off that bomb defusal. Could have been a completely different game, but Rise Nation, they're pretty fortunate to be in this position with the game all tied up. They do have the majority of first bloods in this game, 4-2, as we find ourselves here in round number 7. It's going to be Mindfreak spreading out the map a little bit. Typically, they would do a B bomb side attack with early smokes to block off Slasher, but this time around, they're approaching it a little bit differently. Smokes now deployed. Looney feeling some pressure. The initial engagement goes his way as he takes down Fighter, expecting another player to follow this up from Mindfreak. And it should be Shox, but Looney has plenty of cover to work with.
Looney's been winning a lot of big gunfights this series. He's able to give the opening for Rise, and, well, the bomb is kind of stuck over in No Man's. It looks like they're approaching the A site. The smokes are going to help just a little bit. The nades help a little bit more, and, well, they made it to cabin wall, but now you got to win the gunfights and Gunless. Well, that's exactly what he was waiting for. Now Dens is just stuck. Shox is just stuck. It's almost an impossible situation. They're going to need a miracle.
Yeah, there's no way back in this round for Mindfreak, but wait, Dens does find the kill onto Looney. It's just Dens is kind of trapped, and it's tough for Shox to rotate over and help him out. He was holding a close angle, but once again, Mindfreak running out of time, and now with Dens falling, the bomb is dropped. Shox trying to bring it back in his favor. Can he clutch up or come close to it once again? Only 15 seconds remaining, playing his life for the time being. I had some nice shots on the Slasher there, almost cleaned up the kill, but even if he had, only 10 seconds, bomb dropped outside near cave, no way Mindfreak is winning the round after that. So Rise Nation now taking the lead here in game 5.
And again, most of that just comes off the back of Looney's first blood, right? Just finds the kill on Fida. Even with shots like that, you just, you're dealing with 2 players from Rise. Rise, the majority of the time, should get the trades. Like, even though Looney does fall on cabin wall, then you have to deal with Gunless right after. Rise just put themselves in a very good position to win the round, ultimately. And we can see if they string more things together as they go back on offense.
Yep. It looks like it's going to be a quick A-bomb side attack coming out of Rise Nation. Fighting here on defense. Peeks wide from cabin wall. At least he finds 1 kill for his troubles. Potential for more, though, as now it's Buzzo here to follow up, holding the cross, and he falls as well. The engagements early on going in favor of Rise Nation as the man advantage now in their favor. TJ Halley with 2 kills to his name can look to get this bomb planted over towards A. Mindfreak on the retake, down 1 man.
all these rounds, it seems, coming down to like one key 1v1, whoever comes out on top, because now Rise is in a great position to win. Slasher's got information on both of the players. Right now, Gunless, his job is to watch Ice, and of course, the guy inside a bomb site is ready to turn and help from whatever direction he needs. Those players are stacked in cabin cut. They got some smokes. They might try to push through, but you got to deal with TJ. One player across, he immediately goes for the second, and now Shox is in some smoke, but he's in a triangle of Rise players who get the most convincing round we've probably had for Rise in quite some time. They're going to have that 5-3 lead. A necessary lead for them to have.
Yeah, TJ read that cross like a book. He tagged up the first player and then immediately snapped onto the second, anticipating the challenge incoming. As Rise Nation, they have a comfortable lead now to work with, plus they are on series point. 5-3 is the round count now, moving ahead into round number 9. And just to point out once again, Mindfreak with some chances to get some more rounds under their belt, round 3, as well as the potential 1v4 for Shox, who's 9-5 in this game. Denz is 7-4, but despite that, Rise Nation on the cusp of closing out this series.
Once again, the smoke strat coming in, but the smoke just a little bit, well, maybe not off, but the timing definitely was. Den's just going to get basically free picked, but Mindfreak, the pressure's coming in from you. TJ's by himself. He's going to get spotted as well. Still wins a gunfight, has the support from Slasher for the second. Buzzo's over top. He calls in the Glad Bomb. Do you think Buzzo clutches this round?
Nah, in fact, TJ might even kill himself. You see the Glide Bomb falling right on top of him as Rise Nation secured the victory in Game 5. It was looking a little sketchy there for the moment, especially early on in that final game, but they close it out, and they get the series win that they desperately needed.
There's definitely a moment. That was more nervous than I expected to be for Rise coming into it, but a pretty convincing, in the end at least, game number 5, as you said. And then on the flip side of things, Mindfreak, you know, you lose to the best team in the game. No love lost. I think, again, they're just looking forward to champs. How good can they get? And, like, if they can clean up their CTF, for example, if they can just turn the record from being, what is it, like quad negative right now, like 4-17 or something like that, if they can even get that to even, they're going to be in a much better spot. Because with CTFs like that, they're getting top 8. If they have great CTF, how high can they go?
Oh, certainly. That's definitely the game mode for Mindfreak that they had the most room for improvement in. And just like you were saying, you can just fix that one game mode. Sometimes it could act as like the swing one in a series. You know, it'll definitely bring you to become a more well-rounded team. But all things considered, it was a solid series overall for Mindfreak. You go toe-to-toe with the best team we currently have in the game, even though you catch them on, you know, maybe an off week for Rise Nation. They wind up playing 3 Game 5s. You get 3-0'd by complexity, but you still walk away with 2 victories that you desperately needed.
Absolutely. Solid stuff coming all the way around. And even just to touch on the Australians, it's exciting going forward because now Tainted Minds has turned up, and you got then when they go back to Australia for however long before champs, they actually get like substantial practice in instead of Mindfreak just beating up on whoever they play and maybe learning bad habits. So definitely great things to take from both sides. Rise Nation, in my mind, has definitely secured their spot from playoffs. I'm sure it's going to take a long time before like everything falls into place, but they get 8 wins, bar anything crazy, and frankly, out of 3 series they have next week, you'd expect they should be able to win 2, if not all 3. If we've been looking maybe a little bit tougher, but they should be fine.
Congratulations to Rise Nation. They stopped the bleeding. We actually have Jess on the stage with Looney from Rise Nation for our PlayStation Instant Reaction.
Thanks, Revan. So how did your expectations before the match line up with the realities of how that match actually went?
I mean, they've been playing well. They obviously placed top 8 at Anaheim, and obviously we're kind of like in a slump, I guess you can call it. So we wanted a 3-0. I kind of threw the S&D Valk around 11, but at least we clutched up and got a win finally.
What do you think is the main issue right now that you need to address?
I don't know. I think it's slow starts and hardpoint. I don't think TJ has started positive like once. I press back and he's always like getting smoked. So I think we just gotta get better teamwork and put him in positions to get free kills.
All right. So, well, Chance was saying as far as he's concerned, you guys have secured your playoff spot. So what is your plan for next week?
I mean, our plan for this week was kind of to increase our map pool, but that kind of went south quick. So we knew coming into this that we had to play for our strength, and luckily we came up. But I think we still want the first spot, so we're definitely going to have to just start playing for our strength, and there's no time to play for like an increased map win to get better out of the maps.
Sounds great. Well, thank you so much for the interview. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome back. Time to break down the Rise Mindfreak series. A couple angles of this I want to cover with Merc and Nameless on the desk. First, Merc, was this sort of vintage Mindfreak?
Yeah, it was. I mean, you played the Hardpoint so well. You know, they're able to beat Rise Nation in one. But really, if you look at this series, I think one map they probably want back is that game #1, right? You're out slaying against Rise Nation. You're beating them on St. Marie. You have all these streaks to work with, and they somehow throw it away, right? Like Rise Nation, they clutch on up. Because if Rise, they lose that, you know, then they lose that second search and destroy in around 11. They lose Valkyrie, Hardpoint. That could have been a 3-1 for Mindfreak. So I think that's one map they probably have to go back and watch. And I've been saying on the desk, we weren't able to watch a lot of Mindfreak at Anaheim just due to where they were, you know, where they were playing their matches. And I was wondering how these guys got top 8. And you can kind of see it now. When they're able to win that search and destroy, they can play Hardpoint with the best teams in the world. I think it was a great showing for them, but they definitely want that map 1 back.
That's the story of Mindfreak for me. They play top teams tough, don't always close out. They had an opportunity, just lost that game 5. The other angle of this, Nameless, Rise are still struggling.
Yeah, they're not playing well at all. I mean, if you're Rise, you definitely want to win that series way earlier. And I think the reason being is that, you know, you have Looney, who's already kind of prone to the bad game. I mean, he's a great leader, great player, but he's prone to put up those numbers that aren't as good. But then you have TJ on this team, who's also not playing well at all as of late. So when you have 2 players who are prone to that bad game, if you don't have a star player like Gunless going off, which he hasn't been going off either, you're not going to be able to close out those hard points as easily as you would before. So I think TJ primarily needs to step it up on this team, because if Gunless isn't going off, it's looking really tough for them at the moment.
Remember, it was pre-Anaheim. I think it was a stat that came out from JP that basically when TJ Haley is playing well, they win. It's like 80% of their matches, they win when he's performing. When he's not, they struggle. So we'll see if he can pick it up. But any big takeaways from any game modes throughout the course of this for you, Joe?
I mean, I think CTF Rise Nation was able to control, and then Rise Ardent Forest. It's so tough to beat them on 2 search and destroys, right? So I think that is still good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? They're the best team in the world.
I said on Trading Shots, like Mindfreak have a chance to come out and upset some teams because you have some weaker search and destroy teams, and they were phenomenal at Anaheim. Unfortunately, so they were 9-2. Rise were 8-2 at Anaheim. The 2 top teams in search and destroy. Like you said, hard to take both.
Yeah, it definitely is. But I mean, looking at the hard points, again, that map #1 to me, like I felt like Mindfreak with all those kills that they had, it should have been a lot closer, even 60 points. I think it should have come down to that final hill. I thought Valkyrie was great for Mindfreak. I thought everybody stepped on up. That was great to see. But kind of to Ant's point with Rise, I'm just a little bit worried. I think Looney played fine. I thought Slasher had some big moments, but TJ and Gunless, and you and I, we've had some discussions with the Rise players, and it just feels like TJ at times, he's just not in it. He's just not in it unless it's the big stage.
And my thing about it is just you can't have multiple players prone to that bad game. Like if you have somebody who's gonna like just be playing like not well, they're kind of gonna be your bait player on that team. And if you have another player doing that, it's not gonna work out well at all. Right. And Gunless did not go off, and it was so hard for them to get anything going in Hardpoint. I'm surprised they won that map 1 with the way it started off and the way it was going.
Yeah. Well, let's start talking about the matches coming up here because we've got a lot more to go through. And I think the final 2 are the ones that start to get really, really crazy. But with that victory, though, Rise get to what? To 8 wins? So they should be good for playoffs.
8-3, yeah.
Should be good for playoffs. Unless they have a massive crumble. Even then, with 8 wins, like you should be somewhere in that top 4.
Number. It's been that magic number.
It has. Well, let's take a look at the schedule now for the remaining matches here for today, just to see what we're diving into. So up next, Luminosity versus Tainted Minds. And if you had looked at that a couple weeks back, maybe pre-Anaheim, you could say like, oh, easy Luminosity win. They're in a great spot. Luminosity are in a horrible spot, and Tainted Minds have been playing well. So that's going to be a very, very interesting series.